What's up, graysonreport? What's up, D Nice, Jennifer Marie, Lisa Boo, Tammy, Nerd Report in the house, Delia Lux, Tyrana, Heather, whatever. How's everyone doing? How's your Thursday going? Did you guys do anything interesting the last couple days since we spoke last? No, I'm just kidding. Chris Barber, Gunner Girl, Cheryl King, Matthew, how's it going? Still a bit under the weather, but I'm feeling a little better. I think I'm going through that what you call it, that flu fatigue. So I'm feeling kind of like I feel better, but I'm feeling like drained. Daniel, how's it going? Oh, I know, D Nice. It was weird. Like it just started raining. I don't know if it's raining now, but earlier it was. I was like, "What the heck?" And then someone posted on the city on Facebook, but on my city's Facebook, and they saw this weird cloud formation, and they thought, and it kind of did look like a tornado, or not a like it looked like a funnel cloud was trying to form, which was like crazy. I was like, "Holy crap." Chris, I hope you're oh wow, I hope you're feeling I hope it wasn't too bad. And I hope you're on the mend. Chris saying I fell on my face today, so I'm hurting. Matthew, if you guys have been in the Discord, Matthew's been posting some hilarious memes. He's been cheering me up actually the last couple of days when I'm sick. So if you're on the Discord, check out the memes that Matthew has been posting. Lisa Boot goes, "Hi everyone at Project Metal Music said to say hi to everyone for him." Oh, cool. Hi Project Metal Music. Oh wow, I hate that. I've been running. I did that the other day too, Chris, and that's a hope it's not too bad. Chris Barber saying tripped on the bathroom rug. Hope it's not too bad and it's a quick recovery. But Chris, I'm hoping we can cheer you up a bit here. What's up, Melissa? Guys, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to smash that like button like Gunner Girl has posted in the chat. Oh, as always, the skeleton duck is somewhere in this background. Just remind me before the end of the stream and I will reveal his location. I did kind of change the color up because you guys were saying the blue was kind of blending. So I went to like this fire-ish looking lighting just to try something different. So I hope that makes it easier. Lisa Boo, thank you for being a member of the Wolfpack for 11 months. Awoo! Howls for the Wolfpack. Love you guys. Hearts for Lisa Boo. I finally, I'm going to wait a few minutes for people to come in. I finally got to watch Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. It was awesome. I guess he made an announcement that he's coming out with a virtual reality series. So for you, I'm not sure when it's coming out, but if you do own an Oculus or something, I believe it's a series that's actually going to be on the Oculus that he has coming out. Julissa goes, "I love the red background. Water Dragon, what's up?" Leslie, how's it going? Hope you're feeling better. I am not 100%, but feeling much better than I did on Monday. I think I'm suffering from that flu fatigue right now because I don't feel 100%, but wanted to come on here and say hi to get out of my sickness, right? I guess you could say. But I do feel much better than I did on Monday for sure. Oh, thank you, Leslie, saying hope you get better soon, hun. Thank you. I appreciate that. Melissa Smith saying, "Oh, my favorite people are here." Water Dragon goes, "Oh no, I've been in bed the last 2 days myself, really sick. I started it hit me really bad Sunday evening. And then Monday I really was like I did not want to get out of bed. But I was like, no, I'll go online. I feel good enough to to go online, get myself going. Leslie, welcome to the Wolf Pack. Hearts for Leslie, guys. Thank you, Leslie, for the support. Daniel goes, it's lit up well. I might be able to find the ducky. All right, I got a few cool articles I'd like to share with you today. Have any of you guys heard of the Paris Catacombs? That's okay, Leslie. I know YouTube can be pesky. Melissa goes, we could occupy our own hospital wing with all the illness and injuries here. We could. They'll be like, what the hell is going on with this floor? Because we're going to be like all laughing and we'll be sick, but we'll be in good spirits. Julissa going, rest is always good when you're not feeling well. I hope you're 100% soon. Same here. Daniel goes, no. Leslie goes, no. D Nice has actually been on the outside of them when she was 13. That's super cool. I was disappointed when I found out the catacombs had nothing to do with cats or combs. Water Dragon goes, how big is the duck? It's about, I would say about that big. Tirana goes, no. Heather whatever goes, laughter is meant. It is actually, because when it puts you in good spirits, you kind of forget that you're feeling like crap. You do sometimes, which is weird. You start feeling better. Like I was watching on Monday when I was in bed. I finished the Avatar on Netflix and I got into it and I forgot like that I was sick, so I was kind of feeling better. So yeah, it does. Water Dragon, I will reveal his location at the end of the stream. Just remind me. D Nice goes, I was too chicken back then. I wouldn't mind now. Hoping to go back to Paris, France soon. Chris goes, there's a movie about them, but the name escapes me. Elaine, what's up? All right, guys, this article. Wait a minute. Let me make sure it's at the beginning. Because I always like to start articles at the middle for some odd reason. So this one is from history. And oh, I love that movie. Water Dragon goes as above, so below. Oh my gosh. I was actually impressed with that movie. It was that one and Descent. Descent I really liked. Leslie's been watching Dark Shadows on Prime from the 90s. Super cool. So this one's from history and it's the dark origins of the Paris Catacombs. Learn how sinkholes and poor sanitation led to the creation of the Paris Catacombs in the late 18th century. In this article, that's about a little less than a year old, from November of last year. And this, I thought what was pretty cool. I do have, after I read the article, I did find another article that kind of has more pictures, but I thought this is a sight to see. Like with all those, and you know me, I like skeletons and bones, so I think I would be intrigued to see this up close. But I probably wouldn't, it wouldn't come to mind that these are actual real human bones. So that would kind of put it to a different sense, but I think I would still be amazed by it. Cheryl King would get lost in there. I would too, probably. I'd probably get lost in the thing. I wouldn't want to go by myself. The Paris Catacombs draw thousands of visitors a year, but few know the Macabre tunnel's unusual history. While the tunnels are named after the catacombs of Rome, which were built in the first century by Christians and Jews forced to perform their burial rites in secret, the catacombs of Paris were founded in the 18th century in response to two secular problems: sinkholes and a surplus of dead bodies. Sinkholes in Paris, Notre Dame, les invalides, les invalides. The Louvre. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. Many of the City of Light's most iconic buildings are made of Lutetian, Lutetian, Lutetian limestone or Paris stone, which has been mined from quarries on the outskirts of Paris since Roman times. But by the late 18th century, the city had expanded so greatly that much of it was built directly above the old mines, leading to unstable conditions. In 1774, a massive sinkhole in the Rue de Enfer, Road to Hell, engulfed houses, carts, and people who fell over 84 feet to their deaths. Whoa! Wow. Yes, definitely a road to hell. Multiple sinkholes over the next few years caused panic and outrage. In response, King Louis the 16th created the Inspection Générale des Carrieres. I am not in the mood to pronounce today, so I apologize. Or IGC, that's much better, in 1777 to map and maintain the quarries. Chief Inspector Charles Axel Guillemont began a race against time to locate material to shore up the vacant mines. A growing public health problem provided the grim solution. Tirana, it would definitely be, and Daniel Mize, it would definitely be amazing to see. Overcrowded cemeteries and cadaverous miasmas. I am butchering these. In the 18th century, most Parisians were buried in communal graves on the grounds of their parish church. The graves were left open until they were full, a process that could take months. Oh my gosh. The bodies would break down over the course of 5 years, and then the grave would be reopened, the bones extracted, and moved to a charnel house, says Dr. Erin Marie Legacy, author of Making Space for the Dead, Catacombs, Cemeteries, and the Reimagining of Paris, 1780 to 1830. The largest burying ground in Paris was Holy Innocent Cemetery, which had been in continuous use for over 500 years. As the city grew overcrowding became an issue down below, and by the mid 1700s, a tenth of the city's dead were buried there each year. The living and the dead jostled for space, especially where the cemetery bordered the bustling Les Halles market. Whoa. Historian Rosemary Wakeman writes, human decomposition mixed with the blood and guts of the market with piles of rubbish to form a putrid stench, a dangerous effluence that made less hollies and access for infection and disease. Okay, so it's saying it's a bustling market. So does this market have food? That just, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's kind of, and the smell. French writer Louis Sebastien Mercier warned that cadaverous mia- miasmas threatened to poison the atmosphere of the city. He claimed that vapors soured milk and wine that was stored nearby, and that the cadaverous humidity of the cemetery walls had the effects of venom. D Nice! Thank you for your super chat. I'm struggling as well pronouncing these. You got this, Lisa. Continue support with PayPal or Cash App. Thanks. Thank you, D Nice. Hearts for D Nice. Miasmas can be roughly translated as contaminated air that was thought to spread disease, says David Barnes, author of The Great Stink of Paris and the 19th Century Struggle Against Filth and Germs. While germ theory didn't yet exist, it was common knowledge that people who lived and worked in areas near cemeteries or slaughterhouses or any major centers of decaying organic matter were more likely to be sick, said Burns. Just imagine the smell, guys. And this was just like, Bernadette, what's up? And this was just like an everyday occurrence. Like, you would go to the market and there would be a smell. But I'm wondering, like, for the people, because after a while you get used to things. So after a while, like, that smell, just you become numb to it. So that's what I'm guessing can happen too. Because if you live in that area and you're there every day, like, that smell just kind of goes away. Like, it just, you kind of numb yourself to it. Lisa Boot goes, trying not to imagine the smell. I know I'm trying not either, but I could just imagine, like, people probably got used to it. But and I can imagine how many people got sick off of that too as well. Cheryl goes, I probably would have starved if it smelled like that. Chris Barber goes, dead things smell. I had a dead cat behind my shed. Oh my god, Chris, I had that happen to me once too. It was the summertime, and I guess one of the strays had passed away by my sliding glass window in my bedroom. This was a while ago. And I kept going in my room and I'm like, what is that smell? And it progressively got worse. And I finally went outside because I usually don't go out my sliding glass door, but I usually have it open, to let the air in for the summertime. And I went out and I was like, and the poor cat had passed away like right next to my window. So that was where the smell was coming from. And I was like, so yeah, I felt like I was in a horror movie when I was cleaning it up. I felt sad too because the cat didn't deserve that. I'm not sure what the cat had passed away from, but the growing concern with sanitation coincided with the declining power of the Catholic Church in France. In 1765, the Parliament of Paris condemned church burials for almost all citizens and proclaimed that burials taking place after January 1st needed to be in new cemeteries outside of the city limits. Republicans in France saw themselves as the vanguard of the future of civilization and the church as the antithesis of everything that was modern, civilized, and healthy, says Barnes. Cleaning up the cities, villages, and countryside of France was a political project framed as a scientific and secular health crusade. The law was unpopular with the faithful who wanted to be buried where their families had been laid to rest for centuries, and I can imagine that. Because the first thing I was thinking, that after when they said after January 1st needed to be in new cemeteries outside of the city limits, who would want to bury their loved one outside of where you lived? So I mean, I would have kind of I understand that because you want to be where your family is. You want to be laid to rest where your family is. Kyle goes catacombs smell like decay. What's up, Kyle? It took a new crisis to seal the fate of Parisian cemeteries. In the spring of 1780, residents of the Rue de la Lingerie on the western edge of Holy Innocents began to complain of respiratory issues, vomiting, and delirium. When inspectors came to investigate, they found that gases from decomposing bodies had burst through cellar walls and risen to the ground floor of at least three homes. A royal ordinance declared Innocence a threat to the city and closed it down. That's a great name for a city, though. Rue de la Lingerie. That's crazy. Just imagine. The Empire of the Dead. In December of 1785, workers began exhuming bodies from Holy Innocents at night and carrying them by torchlight to their new resting place, the city's catacombs. It was a marriage of convenience, with the vast underground mines offering a local and more sanitary storage solution. The Paris Municipal Ossuary, ossuary, as the catacombs were officially named, was consecrated on April 7th, 1786. The outbreak of the French Revolution in 1789 put a temporary halt to Guillemont's plans, but as bodies piled up during the Reign of Terror, the city's dead began being directly buried in the catacombs, which had gained a new reputation as the Empire of the Dead. Leslie goes, "What a nightmare." Just imagine if you had woken up at night, because they did it at night, and I'm sure people still saw, and you saw them carrying bodies after bodies. I mean, I'm pretty sure they had them covered up, but I feel like you're messing with the dead when you do that. Like you're moving them from where they were laid to rest, and now you're putting them somewhere else. I feel like that's just I don't know. For me, I that's something I would never do. I would never mess with a grave. I just feel like that's like disrespecting it in some ways. There are no headstones or markers for individuals in the catacombs. Parisians from different classes and centuries are laid to rest side by side. The catacombs are a space of equality. You have the bones of nobles next to a pauper, and you can't tell the difference. Equality in dead has long been a Christian message, but in the wake of the French Revolution, it also has reson, resonated political undertones, says Legacy. The bones from over 6 million bodies were shaped into archways, tunnels, and walls, one 19th century visitor recalled. Bones bend into arcs and rise into columns. An artistic hand created a kind of mosaic out of these final remains of humanity, whose order regularity only adds to the profound contemplation that the space inspires. Here, all distinction of sex, wealth, and rank have finally disappeared. Cheryl King goes, it's like grave robbing, taking them from the burial site, but at the same time, they had to do it because it was making people sick. So I get I get why they had to do it, but it's something I would never do. Like I just feel like it's wrong. But they it was kind of out of their hands, so I kind of understand it because people like I said, people were getting sick. Uh they were saying the fumes were infecting people in their homes. They were coming from the cellars and going into people's homes, making them sick. So I understand. I get it. I get it. Heather Whatever says 600 years ago, my mom's family was in France from Scotland, but I don't know how long that was. It was some political thing I don't know how much about. My mom met a man in who filled her in on that. Chris Burr goes, bring out your dead. Melissa Smith goes, which Les Miss song is everyone singing? Matthew, you removed the headstones but left the body situation Yes. Yes, Matthew. Like Poltergeist. Julissa goes, but it's worse for living to get sick. The dead have true. It is, and the way that they describe it was like they didn't disrespect it. They made it like a it was more it they did it like honorably. I guess if I could say it correctly, if you get what I'm saying. Cheryl goes, I can understand why they did it. Leslie, it didn't say if they were carrying them in coffins, but before them, they said people were buried in mass graves, and it wasn't covered until the grave was full, which could take a while. So I don't think they were in individual coffins. I think they were probably just like covered in a tarp, and they threw them in a mass grave. So they were probably carrying these people, like carrying them. Is what it doesn't say, but that's what I'm thinking it is. They're actually carrying the bodies. Covered, probably, of course. D Nice goes, mass graves were just bodies on top of each other. Yeah, they just kind of just threw bodies all in the same place. So it wasn't marked, but I guess you kind of knew where they were. Bernadette goes, so they just checked the bodies all together and said lunch. Yeah, pretty much. You probably had one guy that was his job. He probably made sure. I don't know if they poured anything on the bodies or just let them decompose naturally. But that's pretty much what they did. They just threw them in this mass grave, and then once it filled up, um, uh, I hate to say it that way, as Bernadette said it, but that's pretty much kind of how they did it. If it, in layman's terms, if you want to think of it that way. um, but yeah, pretty much until it got full, close the door, start on with the next. It's kind of sad to think of it that way, but that's probably was normal to them. It's not normal to us, of course, because obviously we either cremate our loved ones or we bury them and we know exactly where they're at, and it's a marked headstone, so it's kind of different than um it's kind of different from what we're used to, but probably back then that was something that they were just used to. So it's nothing for us. We're thinking like, "Oh my gosh, like how could you do that?" Bernadette goes, "Damn, that's cold-blooded." But I mean, yeah, I know it kind of is, but that's kind of they probably did their last rites or whatever they did, and Water Dragon goes, I've heard burial won't be a thing at some point. I think they have things. I've heard that too, Water Dragon. And I can't think of. I've heard some crazy things that people have done. So that because they didn't want to be buried the traditional way. The catacombs as a tourist destination. And yes, there's an actual website that you could buy tickets from. The Paris Catacombs have been a tourist attraction since Napoleon Bonaparte ordered them open to the public in 1808. For some reason, it was a space to mourn the violence of a revolution, especially in front of bones of notorious events like the September massacres, when over 1,000 people were killed in 4 days, said Legacy. Wow. Others sought thrills and entertainment on their candlelit tour. It was a way to safely confront death and violence in the aftermath of a tumultuous, high anxiety period, said Legacy. The French obsession with the frights of Gothic fiction and the macabre could be viscerally felt in the cool underground caves lined with anonymous bones. Visitors could observe the black line on the ceiling of the Paris Catacombs, meant to guide anyone who got separated from their tour, lines that would be invisible should your candle go out. Oh my god, I would never want to be one of those people where the candle goes out. Heather, whatever goes launch me into space, maybe that's why it stinks. Yeah, I don't think I wanna be the person, well, now, I mean, they probably have, I don't know, they probably have lighting in there now, but at that point in time, I would not wanna be in there if my candle went out. Chris Barber goes, "I like the whole buried with the tree thing, that sounds cool to me." That sounds cool, but I've heard other things. I have to look it up because I don't remember what it was, but I remember it was, like, so weird that I was like, "What the hell?" And it wasn't the tree thing, because 'cause I've heard of the tree thing. It was something, like, completely, like, crazy. Water Dragon goes, "Hell no! If the candle went out, I'd freak." Yes, me too. It would be you and the dead. You would have a you better meaning of a closer relationship with the bones if your candle went out. Tiger Grana goes, "I'd freak out too." Daniel goes, "Maybe the reason space stinks or smells, it might be alien poop." Cheryl, "I'm getting cremated, then thrown anywhere." D Nice goes, "Lisa, are the Paris catacombs on your list of future places to hike and explore? You could just recap from your hotel." If I could, I'm just not a fan of planes. I do not like planes. So if I could get over that, I would love to see that. There's places I would love to go to too, because I would love to go to Japan and Korea. In Japan, they have, that the suicide forest, and or the S forest. YouTube, you did not hear that, but they have the S forest, and I know Japan is full of folklore, and that's some place I would like to go one day, but I got to get through the plane thing. Me and planes don't mix. Matthew goes, "I just don't want to wake up wanting to eat brains." But that would be cool to go see. It would. It would. Cataphiles are the secret life of the catacombs. Only 1.5 kilometers of the 300 kilometers of tunnels that form the Paris catacombs are filled with bones. The rest of the tunnels have been used for everything from subterranean mushroom farming to beer storage to serving as a bomb raid shelter and meeting place for the French resistance during World War II. Since 1955, it has been illegal to enter the catacombs without permission, though explorers known as cataphiles descend into the darkness to explore the hidden world beneath Paris. A special branch of the Paris police, dubbed cataflics, by local patrol beneath the city streets. In 2004, officers uncovered an illegal underground cinema and bar. What? What a great idea. Too bad it got shut down. As a liminal space beneath the ever changing city, a big part of the Paris catacombs' appeal is their removed from the bustle of the city above. Since they've been open to the public, people thought about the catacombs as a space out of time, says Legacy. The 18th century opened with an unprecedented amount of upheaval. Everything changed from names of the streets to the way people measured time. Accelerating technology during the Industrial Revolution quickened the pace of change. As soon as you go underground, that's all missing, she says. In the 21st century, cell phones don't get reception down there. To descend into the catacombs is to travel to the center of Paris and back in time. Guys, what do you think of the Paris Catacombs, and would you go? I would love to go. I have another article that kind of has some pictures about the Paris Catacombs I'd like to share as well. Bernadette goes, "Do you think if we went to Japan, the spirits would know what you're saying? Is there language barriers in the after?" That's a good question. I know that some ghost hunters would actually speak in Spanish. Um because I've seen that where they speak in Spanish, but that is a good question. So if you were actually ghost hunting, you would have to kind of know Japanese to get a response? Maybe? That's a good question, Bernadette. Elaine goes, "I'm down. Tirana will go. Lisa Boo would go." Bernadette was like, "Hell yeah, I'll go." Cheryl says, "Very interesting. Would love to go." Melissa Smith goes, "Manhattan has underground tunnels too." Julissa goes, "Very cool, but I'll pass in exploring the catacombs." Daniel is up for a walk. Water Dragon, there's a doc on Netflix about the tunnels under New York. I haven't seen it yet. Oh, I'll have to find it and check that out. Bernadette goes, "Two words, Lisa, Google translator." Exactly. I'll be like, talking to this device or listen to this device. Leslie goes, "Hey, not to change topic, but has Netflix gone up to $12 now? Mine did." Leslie, my Netflix is actually connected with my cell phone service, so I am not sure. I'd have to check my bill. I know it went up. They were talking about rate spikes, as with all of them. It's just the sign of the times now. Matthew goes, "I heard EVPs from other countries speak English in that country's language, like a universal afterlife language translator." Okay. Chris would go if I were physically able to. Leslie, I think it's with everything. Everything's going up in price. And I think they're going overboard with the password sharing. Because I feel like it's like, dude, if you live in the same house, then people should be able to use it. Or if you have a kid that went to college, they should be able to use it. Like, I think that's ridiculous. Bernadette goes, "What would you ask if you could ask only one thing?" To a spirit, Bernadette? That's a good question. I don't know what I would depending it would depend on where I was at and who the spirit was. I would probably be like, "Hi, my name is Lisa. What's yours?" I'd be simple like that. Or how did you pass? I think that would be something I would ask. Water Dragon goes, "I can't even get to LA this fall to see." Oh, Corn. On my birthday, Corn is having a 30-year anniversary concert in Los Angeles. I feel old now. I think I started listening to Corn in my early 20s, so now I feel super old. Lisa Boo goes, I would ask them what it's like where they are. Oh, that's a good question. Water Dragon goes, where did you bury the gold? Melissa goes, that's super true, Melissa. The price of things always increase, but salaries stay the same. Super true. Or they increase your salary and they cut your hours. They increase your wage or cut your hours. There you go. They do that too. All right, this one is from Business. It's like another article about the catacombs. Matthew goes, is the afterlife better or worse than life? Oh, that's a good question. Bernadette goes, corn. I don't remember eating corn. So this one's from the Business Insider. It's another article, but it shows some pictures because I wanted something that shows pictures. But so go step inside. This one's a fairly old article, but I saw some pictures and I felt like, well, it gives some pictures. Step inside the catacombs, Paris's most bizarre tourist attraction. Hidden beneath the vibrant European city of Paris is an eerie network of old caves and tunnels housing the remains of 6 million people. The Catacombs de Paris. The tunnels located beneath the Palais de Chalot or Chalot stretch as far as about 200 miles, though only a small section of it is open to the public today. The majority of the network has been off limits since 1955, but even in the area still accessible to tourists are fascinating remnants of Paris's history. So here are some pictures. Imagine walking. I'm assuming they added lighting because it kind of looks like that they did add lighting down there so that way you don't need a flashlight, but I would still bring a flashlight just in case. You never know. Wendy was not notified. Pesky YouTube. But I'm glad you made it, Wendy. That would be scary to walk down. And with the 1782, it says original inscriptions from when the tunnel was used in the 18th century are etched along the walls. Bernadette! Water dragon, I think it is. I think that goes down to somewhere, to the unknown. Water dragon. The limestone quarries were used as a natural resource since the time of the Romans, providing construction materials for Paris buildings. Eventually, the city continued to expand over the quarries, creating a vast underground world. And it looks like someone put a candle in one of the mouths of the skulls. That is just crazy looking. And it says the catacombs have been a morbidly fascinating tourist attraction in the city for years. Water dragon goes, you go first. In the 18th century, when Parisian cemeteries like the largest Cimetière des Saint Innocents became overpopulated, which I read about in the previous article, 6 million bodies were both transferred from cemeteries and buried directly into the underground limestone passageways, giving the catacombs a reputation of the world's largest grave. So I guess this is kind of like a picture of where burials would regularly take place at a Cemetery des Saints Innocents. So this is kind of what it looked like, or what it might have looked like, I should say, because I'm pretty sure it's an interpretation. Since they were officially open to the public in 1876, the catacombs have attracted the interest of thousands of visitors and historical figures like King Charles X, who is said to have thrown wild parties there, and Napoleon III. They were used by the French resistance to hide from Nazis in World War II, and ironically by the Nazis to build an underground bunker. In some places, bones are laid out in careful patterns stacked high on top of one another. Like here. Whoa. That is crazy. And it says some of the bones are carefully arranged in intricate designs. Other areas include a sea of fragmented skeletons along the floor. Wow. There's also graffiti dating all the way back to the French Revolution etched along portions of the wall. Famous figures buried here include Jean-Paul Marat, known from the French Revolution, and Maximilien de Robes- Robespierre, an iconic member of both the Revolution and the Reign of Terror. Unofficial visits are not permitted considering how dangerous this can be, but there are secret entrances across the city, like sewers and metro tunnels that lead into the site. Would you guys go down there without permission? Like, would you go down there by yourself? I don't know if I would go down there by myself, because the fact that there are, what did they say, 6,000 were moved there, and it's human bones. They can't say that nothing has happened there, like spiritually, like ghost sightings or feelings, or like an eerie feeling if you go down there. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I would go by. I think I would go with a group because I'd be afraid I would get lost and I'd get stuck down there. Bernadette goes, I believe I would. I'd hire off the grid guide. Yeah, there are people that go down there that know their way around. So yeah, you could do that. Wendy goes, I'd go with Lewis and Lisa. I'd bring up the rear view. Wendy will go if Lewis and I will go in first. Chris Barber, it would be dangerous alone. I know. Oh, well, yeah, I know that. But I'm thinking of the other things that could happen too. Chris Barber goes, it would be dangerous alone. Nothing to do with dead people. True. True. Because I don't know what type of area that is. There is even an entire group of explorers known for entering the network illegally. The Cataphils have been going deep underground the catacombs for years, hosting everything from bars to movie screenings in the subterranean world. See, I'd probably go with one of those guys because they know their way around. And then so it goes, several signs that date back tell of the different cemeteries the bones come from. Wow. So this one I think says Osament de La Lancien Cemetery. I don't know what it says. Saint Laurent de Posay in 1848. Don Luce. Wow. I'm not going to read the rest because I'm going to butcher it. Today, about a mile of the catacombs is open to explore with a public entrance in Paris's 14th arrondissement. And the entrance reads, "Stop. This is the Empire of Death." Arrete, c'est ici l'Empire de la Mort. Sorry, I wanted to try because it looks cool how it's written. Dusty, what's up? Elaine goes, "I'd go with a guide, but only pay half up front so I'd get home safely." That is a smart idea, Elaine. Bernadette goes, "Isn't it said also that people did rituals down there?" Like, I think so. Let me see if I can find when I'm done with this, I'm gonna see if I can find an article that talks about that. I could have sworn I heard about that as well, Bernadette. There's also an area that houses a themed expedition each year, with this year showcasing the history of Paris when it was occupied by the Lutetian Sea about 45 million years ago. The catacombs are open for tours Tuesdays to Sundays. Tours are about 45-minute long and cost €10 for adults. For anybody that wanted to know. Let me see if I can find an article. I don't know if I can find one. Oh, here's one. This one's kind of actually interesting. This one's bone chilling Paris catacombs, legends and myths. I don't know. I mean, I'll kind of not so much about satanic rituals, but it's kind of interesting. Melissa goes, "There's our unofficial entries and parts still uncharted." I am sure of that. Panda Bear goes, "Anybody up for an adventure?" Bernadette goes, "If we went as a group, Lisa, our group name would be the Boners." So this is from the Tour Guide to Travel blog. I'm not sure how reputable this site is, but I kind of thought it was interesting. It goes, "Bone chilling Paris catacombs, legends and myths." I love legends and myths and folklore, so this is kind of cool. Who doesn't love a good story? Some places naturally produce better stories than others. The Paris Catacombs, the final resting place of 6 million people and a tourist attraction with lines wrapping around the block, falls into this category. Here are a few of the most bone chilling stories from inside the Paris Catacombs, sure to inspire you in your exploration of its dark depths. The uncovered video camera. Dun dun dun. This is by far one of the creepiest Paris catacomb legends. In the early 1990s, a group of cataphiles, people who study and explore the Paris catacombs regularly, was walking through the dark chambers of ossuary when they found a video camera on the ground. I think I heard about this one. The camera still had footage on it. As they watched, they heard disturbing noises. From the video, they could tell the man holding the camera was lost and had no idea how to escape. The more they watched, the more it became clear the man was going mad in the underground network of tunnels. The video ends abruptly with the man dropping the camera to the ground. To this day, no one knows who he was or if he ever managed to get out alive. Many believe that the movie As Above, So Below was inspired by this tragedy. Voices at Midnight. Possibly linked to the video camera story above, a famous Paris Catacombs legend has it that something terrifying happens in the burial site after midnight. Keep your wits about you if you're inside the Paris Catacombs after midnight. According to the legend, that's when the walls begin to speak. It is said disembodied voices will try to persuade you to venture ever deeper into the catacombs until you can't find your way out again. That was oh, okay. I was gonna say that was it. They wanted to tease us. Thank you, Heather, whatever, for your PayPal. The haunted sewer is not for me, but good story. Hearts for Heather, whatever. Thank you, Heather, whatever. You're awesome. The ghost of Philibert. As As Aspart. During the French Revolution, a man named Philibert, I'm just going to say A, was a doorman at the Val de Grace Hospital. On a mission to fetch a certain liqueur from a cellar, Philibert actually ended up entering the Paris catacombs by accident. Walking around the pitch black catacombs alone with just a single candle, Philibert became lost and confused. Many believe he may have been intoxicated by the time. Ultimately, Philibert's candle went out and everything turned to black, making it impossible for him to escape the profound darkness of the catacombs. His body was only found 11 years later by a group of cataphiles. They identified him by the hospital keyring hanging from his belt. Asperit is buried in the catacombs in the exact place where he died, with a tombstone describing his death. Cataphiles and catacomb folklorists say that every November 3rd, Philibert's ghost haunts the labyrinth of the catacombs. Secret hideout inside the Paris catacombs. In 2004, a group of police officers were exploring a part of the Paris catacombs restricted for public access when they uncovered some very strange things. First, they found a PA system playing pre recorded guard dog barking. Then, they found 3,000 square feet of galleries wired for phones using pirated electricity. The officer also found a bar, living area, workshop, lounge, and even a cinema with room to seat 20 people. Shockingly, the cinema seats had been carved into the stone of the catacombs. The creepiest part of all, though, was that they discovered cameras on the ceilings recording them. A few days later, the police squad went back to the area with a larger team to investigate further. However, everything they discovered, from the phone lines to the Paris catacomb cinema, had vanished. The only thing that remained was a note that read, Ne cherchez, ne cherchez pas. Don't search. And I guess that's it for that one, which was pretty cool. Bernadette goes, so that's what I want to know. Do spirits watch us on the toilet? Bernadette! Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find something that might say something. Oh my gosh. I can't seem to find anything that says. Hold on, guys. Give me a second, guys. Thank you, Leslie. Love you, Lisa in chat. I will see you soon. Hope you get a better soup. P.S. Netflix isn't worth $13. Thank you, Leslie. Oh, Cheryl, the warning to the police was don't search. I don't see anything about um satanic except in Reddit. But no one commented about it. So I will have to delve into that deeper some other time. So guys, what did you think of the Paris Catacombs in the scary folklore that I've heard the one about the video camera before? Heather, whatever goes, leave your body and soul at the door. Cheryl King goes, I believe they do rituals down there. I heard that they did, but I can't find anything. I probably have to dig search. I'll I'll dive deep, and on my next stream, if I find anything, I'll share it. Lisa Boo goes, very interesting. It is very interesting. That's a place I would like to go see that up close and personal. I'm not sure if they allow. Well, I mean, you can film in there because you could just take your like GoPro in there or your phone. But I'm not sure if they allow you to film. But people are taking pictures. I'm assuming you're allowed to. Melissa goes, I've seen tours of the catacombs. It's a bunch of pasty housewives from Wisconsin going, hey, so this is scary, right? Huh? Elaine goes, it was interesting. Water Dragon goes, people do weird things with their dead sometimes. I saw that, but I didn't want to mention them, Bernadette. There's a certain YouTube duo who is Lewis's favorite boys that have been in there. I saw it, Bernadette. I saw I didn't see it, but I saw it popped up on my search. Chris Burgo sounds like it could be a rabbit hole. Lisa, it could be like I feel like if you do go, definitely go with a tour guide. Don't go by yourself, or go with someone that knows where they're going. Because I would not want to get lost down there, or not be able to find my way up, and not have any water. I'm more because yeah, I feel like that's more of a danger than any of the spirits, if there are any that I may encounter. But I'm sure they did. I'm sure they've done someone had to go in there and do some type of ritual. Someone. But I can't find anything yet, so if I can find an article, if I do come up with something, I'll share it on my next stream. But at least they do have markers. The one thing that I kinda like is they do have markers telling you where the bones what cemetery the bones come from. So if you have long lost relatives that happen to have been alive during those times, you can at least know if where about where their bodies may be or their bones may be, their resting place, so that's kinda cool. And it does look like there is electricity down there, but I would still bring a flashlight just in case. You never know. Cheryl goes, "Yes, that's great that they have markers." It is. Bernadette goes, "You know I used to like that TV show Bones. I had to say that." Wendy's asking, "What's the difference between a cadaver and a corpse?" What? Wendy goes, "A soul lingering." Bernadette looks goes a stiff upper lip. Oh my gosh. Daniel goes, "It's a thing in Germany. They do it for a whole year and then they clean it up at the end of the year." I think it's Germany. What are you talking about, Daniel? The gum? Dusty, that's what I was thinking too. A cadaver is used for medical reasons. All right, guys, I have another article that I found that I thought was kind of interesting. Um, Formaldehyde. Wendy. It's from All That's Interesting. I love that site. So this one goes, "Who is Zozo, the demonic spirit, the demonic, oh my god, the demonic spirit supposedly summoned through Ouija boards?" Supposedly, a powerful ancient demon, Zozo, torments those who contact it through Ouija boards. But is this malevolent force from the spirit world or from our own minds? When Darren Evans wrote about this horrifying experience with the Ouija board demon named Zozo in 2009, hundreds of people claimed that the same thing had happened to them. The Zozo demon, Evans claimed, had come to him multiple times in various states. The demon sometimes pretended to be a different spirit, lied, or tried to convince Evans that it was someone else. Eventually, though, the Zozo demon couldn't help but make him his truly malevolent self known. As it turns out, tales of the Zozo demon go back at least 200 years. Matthew goes, "Jack Osborne mentioned Zozo before." Birdie Dick goes, "Ooh, thou shall not say its name. What's up, Zozo?" The story of the Zozo demon. Darren Evans told his story about the Zozo demons for the first time on March 24th, 2009 on an online forum for true ghost stories. He explains how the first time he had an encounter with the demon, the Ouija board went wild and flew between the Z and the O, frantically spelling Z-O, 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 Z-O. I like how it shows this picture and the caption goes, people playing with the Ouija board, period. I think I can tell that's what they're doing. But I don't think I'd be paying attention to the caption of this photo. Olay! Thank you for the super chat. Didn't find the duck, but found James Dean. Do I have? Oh, I do have them. Yes, I do have them behind me. I forgot. Hearts for Lane, guys. I go, wait a minute. Do I? Thank you, Elaine, for the support. Zozo said it had come to take Evan's family to paradise. Evans asked where paradise was, and the plastic arrow, known as the planchette, moved once more. Slowly, it spelled out the word Hell. He reported also that Zozo spewed some obscenities in what seemed to Evans like Latin or Hebrew. Evans reported how he then rushed into the bathroom where his girlfriend had been giving their 1-year-old daughter a bath. His girlfriend was gone, the tub was overflowing, and his daughter was drowning. Though he managed to rescue her that time, Evans claimed the demon was responsible for sending his daughter to the hospital later with an inexplicable infection. The Ouija board demon. It sounds like something from out of a horror story, and it may well be. There's every reason to believe that Evans made it all up. But his story has caught on for a reason. He isn't the only person who claims to have been attacked by the Zozo demon. Hundreds have described their own harrowing experiences. Wendy goes, there's a big difference between Latin and Hebrew. Real quick, guys, D Nice has dropped the my email in the chat. If you guys have a story, could be a UFO story, a ghost story, unexplained story, could be an article, or even like a cool video that you see, please email me to graysonreport13@gmail.com, and I may share it on my next stream. As long as unless you say don't share it, I will not share it. Indeed, the occurrence seemed so popular that a horror film on the Zozo demon, I Am Zozo, was released in 2012. Evans also, why is it everything I read has Ghost Adventures in it? Evans also made an appearance on the popular show Ghost Adventures in an effort to contact Zozo. All of the stories regarding the Zozo demons are more or less the same. Someone will sit down to play with the Ouija board or anything even remotely resembling one. Sometimes people will meet the demon on a Ouija app or even just after scribbling a makeshift board on a piece of paper. At first, they think they're talking to the spirit of some dead relative. They'll ask questions and be startled at just how much the spirit seems to know about their loved one's life. And then suddenly, the arrows will start to fly between the letters Z and O. That's when the threats begin. The Ouija will spell out obscenities and blasphemies and promise to drag one's firstborn son down to hell. What happens if you don't have a firstborn son? My nephew started running around the house screaming, Zozo, 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 and we frantically made him stop, one woman wrote on another forum. The next morning, my nephew wakes up, and as we're waking up, he asked if we could go get breakfast, so I put him in the car and pull out the driveway. Not 2 minutes later, a car runs a stop sign and slams into us. A history of evil. So this is of Pazuzu, a Mesopotamian god. Some say it's Zozo in this picture, but it's Pazuzu. Melissa Smith is saying, "Take my daughter." Bernadette! Chris, he does know he's over the top. He's Chris is asking, "Do you think Zach realizes he's a bit over the top?" He has mentioned, because I'm reading his book, and he has said that he knows he goes over, and I think he mentioned it before in an episode as well, because he gets super excited or something like that. Elaine goes, "Wait, there's a Ouija app? I guess apparently there is. I did not know." Many of these stories showed up on the internet after Evan's creepy account went viral, though some of these accounts were already out there. Evan claims that before sharing his story with the internet, he Googled the word Zozo himself and found more than a dozen blog posts describing the exact same encounter. Creepier still is that the name Zozo has shown up for more than 200 years. The oldest Zozo story comes from the 1816 book Dictionnaire Infernal by Colin de Plancy. De Plancy tells the story of a young girl who claimed to be possessed by three demons named Mimi, Capulet, and Zozo. The girl went down the street of all fours, on all fours, sometimes forward, sometimes behind. Sometimes she walked on her hands, feet in the air, at the risk of putting passerbyers in the confidence of her position. Her strange movements, the girl had told people, were commanded by the demons who possessed her. This created enough of a commotion that a priest came to perform an exorcism on her. When the Zozo demon left her body, it was said the windows in the room shattered. Colin de Plancy, though, was a skeptic. While he recorded this paranormal incident, he did note that he didn't believe a word of it. But even the story wasn't the first mention of the spirit. Some speculate that Zozo is actually derived from the Mesopotamian god Pazuzu, who was known to be the ruler of the demons. Further, a symbol etching out that the name Zoso as a code of the god Saturn appeared in a banned occult book in 1521. This would later be copied by Led Zeppelin as the symbol of their guitarist Jimmy Page. Zozo, a demon of the mind? There could be a more real world explanation behind the Zozo demon. In 1972, psychologists tested whether people can communicate with the paranormal, though only persuasion of human will in what's known as the Philip experiment. The study made up a fictional person named Philip Alsford and instructed a group of people to run a seance in order to summon his ghost. The group became convinced that they could feel Philip's presence. They heard knocking sounds coming from the table, felt the table vibrate, and at one point even saw the table tilt up onto two legs. They were sure that they had spoken to Philip's ghost and that he'd answered their questions. They did not know that, in truth, Philip was just someone the researchers had made up. So it's like a placebo effect. The researchers concluded that the human mind can, in fact, create spirits on its own will simply can create spirits on its own will simply through a bit of persuasion and imagination. The Ouija board consequently is designed to play tricks against us by working off of a principle called the ideometer effect. Our muscles make a small subconscious movements without our realizing them, and when we see those movements shift the light piece of plastic on the board, we become convinced that it's happening supernaturally. All of this amounts to us being able to scare ourselves into believing the paranormal. I tried to use one and I could not get the planchette to move, so I did not have the ideometer effect going on. At least that's how skeptics explain what's going on in the case of the mass Zozo demon terror. But the terrifying reality is that in either case, the demons are real, and whether they are in our minds or elsewhere is to be debated. It's hard to say which is more terrifying, the idea that a supernatural demon can possess a child's toy, or the idea that a demon of the mind exists in our own subconscious, convincing us that what we most fear, is real. Bum bum bum. So do you guys think Zozo is real, or do you think Zozo is a figment of our imagination? As what that article was kind of saying. It gave us two sides, I guess. Bernadette goes, "What would be your demon name, Lisa? Mine would be that pinche duck." Oh, my name would be something crazy. Like Lobo. Mine would be wolf, but in another language. Wendy goes, "I won't touch the planchette, but we'll film you and Bernadette's spirit box." Dusty Lane goes, "How do they know Xenu is not spelled with a Z if they cannot speak of him?" True. Very true, Dusty Lane. Very true. As funny, I'm watching this documentary on Netflix. It popped up actually, and it's about troubled teens were sent to a school because she brought up Scientology. And it's a girl that went to the school for about 15 months, and she's doing a documentary to expose it. And it was supposed to be a school for troubled youth um to help, troubled youth, to help kids. And and even they had commercials that painted it like this wonderful place to be. And when they got there, it was like a prison. Like, they didn't let you talk to anybody. It was like you were in military formation. They had to go to the bathroom with the doors open. They were strip searched when they went into the facility. One of the girls said she was strip searched by a male. And they had mentioned that in order to get out of that school, they had to go through a program, which is what it's called. It's called a program. And they mentioned Scientology in it, and how that school manipulates people into thinking that things were their fault. And they happened to mention, it was funny that Scientology popped up in there and saying it, and they brought up an interview with I forgot the actress that Remy, that's suing Scientology, and she used to be a Scientologist, so they brought up a little snippet about her. So I thought it was kind of, I was like, "Oh, that's weird that popped up." Elaine goes, "Both?" Elaine goes, "My high school was Longview Lobos." That's cool. Wendy's watching it too. I'm not finished with it. I'm still watching it, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Matthew goes, "They can't use it, but no doubt we're at least told his name and how to spell it." Heather whatever goes, "Thinks it's a demon." D Nice goes, "You say Zozo, and I keep thinking dodo bird. The dodo is an extinct flightless bird that was endemic to the island of Mauritius." Actually, that's kind of cool, Daniel. I've actually been to a Led Zeppelin concert in my mom's belly. That's cool. That's cool. Water Dragon goes, "Leah Remini." Yes, Leah Remini. They kind of showed a clip of her. Thank you, Water Dragon. Thank you, Lisa Boo, with the Leah Remini. Daniel's high school is Trinity Wolfpack. And Heather whatever, thank you also for the Leah Remini. So I thought it was kind of crazy that they brought that up. Just out of nowhere. I wasn't even expecting that. They were like, just like Scientology, where they use. I was like, what the hell? But it's a cool. It's called The Program, guys, on Netflix. It's kind of interesting if you guys want to catch it. For those that still have Netflix. Matthew goes, which all died because of predators, not from the island, because of people that came to it, not because dodos are dumb. Melissa goes, my high school is the Raiders, don't tell Bernadette. That's cool. I was a Brahma. What was I? An eagle, longhorn, and a Brahma. I think it was. Heather, whatever goes, my school is the Islanders. That's cool. Wendy was the Blue Devils. Chris Barber was the Polar Bears. That's cool. Better than a Brahma. D Nice goes, I am to the point I'm just added on to my family. Well, that's the way to do it, as long as Netflix doesn't catch you with their stupid password sharing BS. I think Max is starting to do that too. And I'm like, dude, they do that to me. I'm just going to be like, I'm not going to subscribe back. Melissa goes, my kids were the wolves. Oh, that's so cool. That's the way to do it, though, D Nice. Like, if you have family members, that's how it should be. Dusty Lane was a bobcat in junior high. That's cool, too. Tyranna was a bobcat, bulldog, and a rocket. That's super cool. All right, guys, I got 2 videos, and then we'll get into the, we'll open it up for questions. Daniel goes, that's the way, I like it, sorry. Heather whatever goes, we have a bobcat around here. My dad was the Arizona Wildcats. Ooh. D Nice was a Wrangler, a Knight, and a Mustang. Think I know what high school you went to, D Nice. I won't say it though. I know, D Nice. That's what but when you said Mustang, I kind of was like, oh. Make sure I didn't forget anybody because I hate when I forget someone. And I end the stream like, ah. All right, guys, this is from Instagram. It's not really scary. I just thought it was kind of cute. But let me make sure it's at the beginning. All right. But there's no sound. All right, this is off of Instagram. Oh my god, where do I get? Oh, here.
You can't be popping up on me like that. You do that too much. All right, y'all. So in this, Jesus. You can't be popping up on me like that. You do that too much. All right, y'all. So in this, Jesus, you can't be popping up on me like that. You do that too much.
It's cute. It's not scary. I thought it was cute and I wanted to share it. And how she just like starts, it's cute. Water Dragon goes, I used to do that to my mom. I do that to people. They're like, dang, I didn't know you were there. Elaine goes, she is so precious. Cheryl King goes, cute. Matthew goes, that's why you were called Fast Ninja Lisa. Daniel goes, very good. I just thought it was cute and I wanted to share it. All right, I got one more video and then we'll open it up to questions, answers, criticisms, complaints. I guess it's at the beginning. I know I saved this video for a reason, but I don't know what happens to it. So we'll both be watching it at the same time. So this one's off of Instagram as well. It says strange lights captured on a motion censored camera. This apparently is a Waze camera, and it does capture an orb. But the lights up here looks like it could be a reflection from something. But I did see an orb. So guys, what do you think of this video? Melissa Smith goes Mothman. Oh, this is recent too. It says February 12th, 2024. So it's a recent video. You do see an orb, but I feel like the lights that are up by the trailer or whatever it is could be like reflection off light, but you do see like a few orbs come into the Daniel goes orbish, Lisa Butte goes orb. Matt, that's what I was thinking, Matthew. Bugs plus the orb and those other lights are from a trailer home, seeing it's on my TV. Tyrana goes orb. So I guess it's a motion sensor camera, so it picks that up. Cheryl goes reflection. I think it is a reflection over by the trailer. But dust mites, Daniel goes, but I did see an orb. So there is something there, some energy, some type of energy. Doesn't necessarily mean it's spiritual energy, but some type of something wanted to make an appearance. Elaine goes, maybe bed bugs. Oh, did you guys hear about that guy in Vegas? It's in the news. Like he felt something because he went to bed and he felt something, and a scorpion bit him in his private area. Like he felt something and he lifted the covers and he saw a scorpion on him. And it was at where was it? The Bellagio? No, Paris, something like that. It was at one of those hotels. Yeah, it's been on the news the last couple days. I keep seeing it pop up on my feed too. Just imagine you go to, I think I think I don't know which one. I think it was the Bellagio or Paris, one of which are high end hotels in Vegas. I've never stayed at either one of them. And you crawl into bed. You're on vacation, trying to enjoy your time. You crawl into bed, getting ready to sleep, and you feel something bite you and lift your covers up, and come to find out it's a scorpion. Like, what the hell? Even took a picture of it. That's just crazy. Elaine goes, no effing way. No, really. It's Cheryl goes, ouch. Poor man. Tyrana goes, ouch. D Nice goes, ew. I did see that, Matthew, that Ming Na Wen will be in the new Karate Kid with that's coming out. And I thought that would be pretty cool. Melissa's asking which Oceans movie was the one with the critic who got bed bugs. I only saw one of them, so I'm not too familiar. I don't know if anybody in the chat knows. Chris Barber goes, my dad's house in GA had scorpions. D Nice goes, Vegas has gone way downhill. Yeah, because that's supposed to be a high-end hotel. It's supposed to be one of the nicer ones. I've never stayed at either of those. I don't remember exactly which one they said it was at what hotel. Let me look it up. Let's see what. And the man was from California. Let's see. Venetian. I was completely off. The Venetian. But still, that's a high-end hotel too as well. Chris Barber goes, I found 2 in the room I was staying. Whoa. Daniel Miles goes, we have huge spiders. Heather whatever goes, oh my God, horrible. I'm pretty sure he's suing the hotel for that. I would. Matthew goes, I got a possum around. I have possums, skunks, and raccoons. D Nice goes, well, I guess it fits the theme of the hotel. I've been in that hotel, but I've never stayed at that hotel. But I know it's a one of the high end ones. Elaine goes, that is a thing you think you would get camping? Not exactly. You don't think you're gonna get into bed and then you have a scorpion bite you. They say it's in his private area, but they actually say, his testicles in the article. But just imagine, like, that is not good. I mean, if it's your house, it's a different story because you kind of know it's there, but even that. But still, though. Heather Rider goes, we went to the Paris when my boys were little, pretty ceilings and bathroom sinks. Actually, the possums won't do anything to you, Matthew. They're more scared of us. That's what they I see the possums eating the bird seed that I put out in the back, and then the raccoons eat the cat's food that I put out for the cats. Dusty Lane goes, centipedes like to crawl under the covers here. I had a centipede in my shower. I turned, and I was like, luckily I was looking up, because if I was taking the shower and I saw that, so I turned on the water, I knocked it down, and I put it down the drain. I was like, Water Dragon goes, why does it always have to be snakes? D Nice goes, I heard in my neighboring town that someone's dog was attacked by a snake that jumped out of the bush. So butter is not allowed around bushes. I've heard there was a video circulating on Facebook that I saw. Just a random video, and it I guess this girl had, I don't even remember where it was. This girl had let her bunny out or guinea pig out, one of the two. I think it was a guinea pig. And a snake was in the bush and it grabbed her guinea pig. And her first, it was a teenage girl too, so she was probably young. And her first instinct, she grabs the snake and she starts twirling it to get the snake to release her guinea pig. And then I think her dad grabs it and it finally releases her guinea pig. And the dad like throws the snake the other direction. I thought that was crazy. I don't even know what kind of snake it was. Melissa Miss, she swung. Yeah, she did swing the guinea pig around with the snake attached to it. But that's crazy. Daniel goes, I saw a video of a snake on a dog and a guy saved it. I think I've seen one of those too. It's scary how those how or there was one video where it showed a snake. I guess because I like watching those ring video ones. And where they show the crazy people that come up to a ring, but this one happened to be where this ring person caught something unusual, and it showed a snake slithering from the top of their door, and it came into view of the ring camera. I was like, what the hell? Bernadette, don't. And you guys can read the comment. Heather whatever goes, we don't have very many bugs, no fleas, only garden snakes, but only saw one. We have spiders and they aren't that big, but I hate them. And ick mice. But that's crazy. Like, I would rather see it on a ring camera when I'm not at home than come. Oh my gosh, D Nice. I love that movie, by the way, D Nice. D Nice goes, random thought. Beastmaster in that stance before he attacks was hot. I love, that's one of my favorite movies growing up, actually. Beastmaster. I gotta get the movie poster. It's one of my childhood favorites. Oh, I know what you mean, Chris, with the mice. I think I finally got rid of the two that I had no idea were in my room. I was like, bastards. Heather, whatever goes, we do have bears and bobcats and coyotes and eagles. I had a coyote in my yard last night. He popped up on my camera and I was like, oh, but my outside cats are fine. I saw them this morning. Brandon, I love the red lightning. Thank you, Brandon. Lisa Boo, the smell is the worst with mice. Yes. There's one time, because in the summertime, I leave my sliding glass window and there's a gap between the screen and the glass, so anything can come in. And they were doing I have a hill behind my house, but that was the time when they were building warehouses over um and they were tearing up the land, and I had rats in my house. I put out, the only way I could think of getting rid of them is doing the poison, but the problem with poison, and I love rats, don't get me wrong, but not the ones that I don't know if they have disease or not. I like the pet rats. And I used poison that year, which was probably not the best to use, because they just die wherever. And so eventually I started opening my closet. I'm like, what is that smell? And so I called out work that day. This was a while ago. I called out work that day. I remember it was like in October or something. And I started cleaning out my closet. I found 7 rats, dead ones. I found 7 of them. And one of them had babies. And I found the babies too. So it was the babies, which were probably like I think 4 or 5 of them, and 7 adult rats. That was crazy. Never again. That was crazy. And that's the reason why I get critters in my room in the summertime, because my screen door doesn't quite seal up against the glass so they could get in between. Heather, oh, I did not know that. Heather whatever goes, I put hot sauce in a circle around house exterior. Coyotes hate. Wendy goes, I have bait boxes. My mice are so smart they were nesting in the bait traps. Oh my gosh. But never again. I haven't had that problem since, but I did, Lisa Boo, because I was like, no. I did have pet rats. I loved rats. Rats are like the most loving. You might not think it, but they are. I was sad for the babies, but not the adult ones. And it was like I was like, "Holy crap," as I was finding them. It was crazy. Water Dragon goes, "Rats are sweet." They are. They're super sweet. Heather whatever goes, they carry hantavirus, deadly to humans. That's why those ones I would, not the pet ones, because I didn't know if they had a disease or anything. Daniel goes, I had a pet rat named Slayer. I taught him not to be nocturnal. Wendy goes, ever had a squirrel? No, I've never. I have him outside though. I see him outside trying to get my bird seed. We did for 3 years. He didn't like me. Ah, I see people on videos with squirrels. They're so cute. I always see them because they'll be hanging off the tree trying to get into the bird feeder, and I'll knock on the window and they stop, and I go, "Hey you, yeah you, with the shaking fluffy tail." And D Nice goes, I hope my sibling's pet mouse is still alive. She tends to leave the house for long periods of time. She locks her room so I can't check. What? That's crazy. Yeah. Heather whatever goes, bears hate ammonia, so put that in the windows. Spiders hate lemon oil. They won't cross it. Bobcats hate butter lime and peppermint oil for mice. If you guys want to do it the natural way. I did not know that. Thank you, Heather whatever. I had pet mice too. Tyrana goes, when my son was younger, he wanted 2 pet mice and they were supposed to be both boys. Then they had babies, so I got rid of them. Bernadette goes, when I was little, I had a rat and hamster. My hamster was preggers and ate her. Oh, and my rat ate my hamster. How's that for a mind? That's crazy, Bernadette. Aw, Wendy goes, the baby dropped on my old man's workstation. He took him home and I syringe fed him. Aw, Wendy. Bitter lime is what Heather whatever meant. And I said butter lime. Sorry, Heather whatever. Bernadette goes, "That's why I stick to cats. You can't go wrong with cats." Heather, whatever goes, "Squirrels see me doing the dishes and stand up on hind legs and beg. They run when they see me." Squirrels. I like dogs too, Chris Barber. Don't get me wrong. I like all animals. Yeah, every time I see a squirrel, they go and they run. Some of them let me take their picture, but most of the time they run, and I'm like, or I'll see the mama skunk with her baby skunks. Invisible Rose is asking, was the hamster the rat baby's father? Cheryl King has seen squirrels chase people. I have not. I have not personally. I see they mostly run. Dusty Lane goes, "I was scared by a squirrel. It ran up my leg trying to get my food." Oh, that's crazy. Matthew goes, "We had dogs, cats, ducks, geese, and little turtles when I was a kid." Oh, cool. I had red ear sliders at one point. I thought they were cool. Had turtles and goldfish, guinea pigs. I've had a rabbit when I was little. All cool animals. Bernadette goes, "I have a work squirrel. When I go outside, that fat squirrel waits for food for me and gives me dirty looks when I don't have any food. I have pics." Melissa goes, "That's a demonic squirrel." D Dice goes, "I will post a picture again on Telegram of the squirrel that tried to take my Subway sandwich at the college you know of, Lisa." Tyretta goes, "A squirrel chased my cousin once." Matthew goes, "In the town park, a squirrel walked up and let me take its picture, even posed a few ways." Oh, that's cool. I get it. I get them sometimes when I go to the park. Like they'll be in a tree and they'll let me take their picture. Heather, whatever goes, "My kids are allergic to cats, so I can't have them." Funny thing is, I was allergic to cats when I was younger. Still kind of am a little bit, but not as bad. Like I'll get like watery eyes every once in a while. I have a dog, and they were made to kill small animals. I taught him not to. I didn't want him hurting cats. I told him their mom will cry. He's smart. I like the looks I give. All right, guys, real quick. Skeleduck is right there by the skeletons. So, Water Dragon, you were correct. He is on Larry's lap. You could barely see him. right next to the pumpkin, barely sticking out. Bernadette goes, PJ Duck strikes again. D Nice goes, dang it. D Nice was like, I was wrong again. And real quick, if you guys haven't done so, I do have a Patreon. It is pinned to the top of the chat. If you haven't done so, it is free to join. Just another way, because I know some of you do not get notifications, and I do post when I'm going live there as well. There are paid options as well if you would like to support, which I would greatly appreciate. But if you can't, there is a free option. And also, don't forget that this Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be joined by Bernadette and Mindy, where we'll talk about all things spooky and ghost stories. So, you don't want to miss that one out. So make sure that you have your notifications on for that one. And you will automatically be redirected, just to remind you, after the stream ends. But any last minute questions before I end this stream? Skeleton Duck, Heather, whatever. Doing something a little different this Saturday than what I'm going on a little earlier too. All right, guys, I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you for joining me. Cheryl, yes, I finally gave up work for the time being. About 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And I finally quit. Told them shove it, because I just it was a hard decision, because I've been there for a long time, because I like the people I worked with, but I knew I had to do what was best for me. And I have my coworkers are texting me like, "Hey, how's it going? What are you up to? Like, come down and visit." So I do have to go in and say hi to them, because they are texting me and saying, "We miss you," and all that kind of stuff, just to say hi. But yes, I did. Cheryl King. Birth Echoes, girl, I'm about to do that. I had to, because I just was not happy anymore, and I was dragging my feet. And it was just something. Yes, Matthew, take this job and shove it. And I just was not happy anymore. So for the time being, I am just doing YouTube right now. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna go with the waves and see where it takes me. Water Dragon goes, good for you, Lisa. You do seem happier. And unfortunately, I got sick, and it was killing me that I didn't go on Monday. Yes, Heather, whatever. The duck is right where my finger is, just for you guys that missed it. Emmy doll, what's up? All right, guys, I will see you on the next one, which will be Saturday at 6, where I will be joined by Bernadette Longfire and Mindy Williams. And we're going to talk about all things spooky, ghost stories, etc., etc. So, guys, I will see you on the next one. Make sure you put your notification bells on for that one. And Keep an eye out on my socials. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you on the next one. Good night, guys. You guys are awesome. Stay spooky.